Hey, what's up, guys? Alex here, bringing you a different kind of video for today. So, this year, I'm starting a new series of videos where I discuss transit, not just in Toronto, but also in Canada. I have a huge interest of transit planning and urban planning, as you guys know, and I've always incorporated my knowledge into my walking videos and some transit videos as well. And I thought this would be a good start. So I thought it'd be a cool idea to make a video where I discuss Canadian rapid transit projects, of course, in the country. And I'll be focusing on cities, including Montreal, Ottawa, Waterloo region. It's not a city, but it's a growing region. Vancouver, Edmonton, and Calgary, because all these cities have bright futures ahead for their rapid transit network. And I've been following these projects for a couple of years now. They all look very interesting. I've visited half of these cities before. Some of them I haven't. But to tackle this, I've decided to become a student again and create a PowerPoint presentation of around 16 slides where I discuss the current network and then future plans for those networks, and of course, saying my own opinions on them. So yeah, I had this little idea in mind for a while. We're in 2026. It's a new year. I want to expand my ground. uh, Actually, I've already created a playlist of discussing transit that includes my fantasy maps and a couple other things as well. So this video will be going into that playlist. Anyway, let's get started. So we're starting things off in our nation's capital, Ottawa, Ontario, where they have a light rail system, which is branded as the O Train. It is operated by OC Transpo and has three lines with one under construction, 25 stations with 16 under construction. It began operation in 2001 as the Trillium Line, which was a lot weirder than people would think, because the line is not double tracked. It still isn't today, but it is in some parts of the line. um, the next major expansion would be the Confederation Line, which replaced the Transitway network in 2019. And most recently, the Trillium Line was expanded, reopened in 2025 last year. The same thing with the Airport Line, which is a very pointless separate line. I think it really should have been a branch of the Trillium Line. But what's really cool about the network as it has a mix of light rail, electric light rail, and diesel light rail. So yes, there's some pretty interesting facts. And in progress, for the in progress slides, I've added maps of what the respective networks would look like in the next several years. So what we have is a eastern extension of Line 1, adding 5 stations in Ottawa's east end. So it would extend the Confederation Line from Blair to Trim. That was supposed to open up last year, but it never got around to that point. So now they're targeting the I think the first quarter of this year. And I've been planning to go to Ottawa for a while. I was gonna go in October, but it wasn't feasible. I was thinking February, but I'm just waiting until they announce an opening day for that extension. I haven't been to Ottawa in 4 years now. My last visit was in 2021 when I rode the Confederation Line, which, by the way, it's a nice system, but it really does need a lot of love. I mean, it's way worse than us, right? They've had a lot of breakdowns, failures, and all this sort of stuff, which I won't get into. But yeah, I'm gonna wait till they announce an opening day for the Eastern Extension, and then I'll probably get my ass over to Ottawa and check that out. We have a Western extension of the Confederation Line, adding 7 stations in Ottawa's West End from Tunney's Pasture to Algonquin College. And then we have a third line under construction, which will run parallel with Line 1 until Lincoln Fields, and then adding 4 new stations between there and Moody. And of course, these expansions are to bring rapid transit in the underserved car-centric suburbs of Ottawa and to address OC Transpo's infrequent bus network and coverage. So yeah, Ottawa has a bright future. Looking forward to seeing this come to fruition. But hopefully, in the spring of this year, we'll go to Ottawa, check out lines 2, 4, and the line 1 east extension. Like I just said, I'm just waiting for them to announce an opening dates, and then it'll make more sense to go to Ottawa and check that out. And next up, we're going to Waterloo Region, which is an hour's drive west of Toronto. And right now, they have a single route of light rail, of course, which is operated by Grand River Transit called the Ion LRT. I've done many videos on the Ion before over the past 3 years, most recently my trip being in November of last year. So the Ion opened in 2019, known as Route 301, and has 19 stations serving both the cities of Kitchener and Waterloo. Although south of Kitchener, BRT service currently runs between Fairway Station and downtown Cambridge. So, of course, this consists of the Tri-Cities, Kitchener, Waterloo, and Cambridge. And their LRT is it's pretty efficient. It's definitely really nice, and I think it has a bright future. By the way, take notes, TTC, because this is what signal priority should look like. Given priority over cars making left or right turns, and they also use railway crossings as well, which I think is pretty cool. Same thing used in Calgary and Edmonton, which we'll get to in a few moments. So we have here an extension of the Ion into Cambridge to replace Route 302, which is, of course, the bus rapid transit line. It's currently in the planning stages, but construction will start in 2028. And it was last year that the region of Waterloo approved the LRT extension instead of a BRT option. And it received pushback from NIMBYs due to potential mess from construction, which was already seen when Stage 1 was under construction. But advocates argued that LRT service would increase accessibility, forgot to add reduce wait times and decrease traffic congestion, and will bring 17 kilometers of track from the current southern terminus at Fairview Station to downtown Cambridge and the Ainsley Terminal. So, yeah, I hope it's going to speed things up and bring even better rapid transit into Cambridge. But the NIMBYs, come on, man, grow up and give yourself a little bit of a break, because what's wrong with adding fast and frequent rapid transit in your city? I mean, I mean, that's just a load of bullcrap if you ask me. But I'd rather like a better rapid transit over like a over like congested buses and traffic and all that stupid shit. But we'll see what happens at the end of this decade. All right, moving on to Montreal, Quebec, where they currently have a subway system of 4 lines, 68 stations with 5 under construction. It opened in 1966. It's the second big. All right, moving on to Montreal, Quebec. It is operated by the STM, Société de Transport de Montréal. It has 4 lines and 68 stations with 5 under construction. It opened in 1966 and is the second busiest rapid transit network in Canada. The metro system is really beautiful, known for its very very artistic stations, and of course it's beautiful trains and rubber wheels, taking inspiration from Paris. A lot of people really say that the Montreal Metro, sorry, the Montreal Metro network is way better than the Toronto subway. Um, I wish I could agree on that, because again, I could go on and on about comparing Toronto subway with the Montreal Metro. But other than that, really really cool, beautiful metro system. But it's not really seeing a whole lot of expansion. The only expansion we're really seeing within the metro network is the Blue Line Eastern extension, adding 5 stations into the eastern end of Montreal, specifically the Anjou part of Montreal. Construction started in 2024. It is scheduled to open in 2031. This proposal goes back decades since Line 5 opened in the 1980s and should have been open by now. But it will bring an important connection to Northeast Montreal, which has been lacking. There's other proposals that have not yet been approved. That includes a Line 2 extension into the industrial part of Montreal, more like the Saint Laurent borough. And also, a pink line was proposed in the late 2010s, but that was canceled. But so far, this is what we got. Like I said, the Blue Line extension should have opened years and years ago. It's kind of like what the so it's kind of similar to the Shepherd Line debacle, but I guess we'll take what we can get. And the station names are very odd. I know they're named after important feminist figures in Montreal, but it would be less confusing if it was just named after the street names, which would what they originally had going for it, but whatever. Still in Montreal, we're talking about the REM now, which, by the way, is one of the greatest light metros in the world. Forgot to mention, my last visit to Montreal was in 2023. I rode the entire, well, not really all the entire metro network, just most of it though. But also, I wrote the REM on its opening day. That was the original Brossard branch in July of 2023, and it was 2 months ago that the other branch to De Montaigne opened. And I've wanted to go back to Montreal ever since to ride the REM. It's a really efficient metro system. It's providing faster commutes and connectivity in Montreal, reduce traffic and emissions, and promote economic growth and new opportunities for urban development. So right now, we have the Brossard and De Montaigne branch, the Anse-à-Lorne branch to the western end of Montreal to open later in spring, and then the airport branch will open next year. And of course, that's going to bring faster travel times of up to 20 minutes between Trudeau Airport and downtown Montreal. Like I said, I really want to go to Montreal again to check out the network. I'm waiting until they announce an opening day for the A3 branch, and so then we'll get to ride all the network. But the airport branch can wait. That's just two stations. And like I said, they're testing the A3 branch. Of course, they're bringing to bring fast and frequent rapid transit to Montreal's west end and suburbs. There were plans for the REM to go into Montreal's east end, but it was canceled thanks to the NIMBYs, which really would have addressed the lack of rapid transit there. And now, the REM has been a very huge success, and people in Montreal now want to revive the REM de l'Est. It's been a game changer for the region. I mean, imagine what it would be like if Montreal had another expansion of the REM to Eastern Montreal. Unfortunately, that's scaled down and it'll be replaced by a tramway, so it's gonna be much slower. I'm not really sure if it's that suitable, but if anything, if I was, if I was in Montreal, I would definitely advocate for um for the reviving of the REM de l'Est. It would just be amazing if they brought that back. Such a shame they had to cancel it. Stupid NIMBYs, man. What a time you live in. All right, moving over to the West Coast, Vancouver, British Columbia. I was in Vancouver back in August of last year. So they have a SkyTrain system operated by TransLink. It opened in 1985 with 3 lines and currently has 54 stations with 13 under construction. It is the longest rapid transit system in Canada, and it's also the longest fully automated driverless system in the world. Its most recent expansion is the eastern extension of the Millennium Line to Coquitlam in 2016. I found the SkyTrain system to be very efficient and on time. It's really fast, and it's pretty expansive. It gets you where you need to go. I didn't ride all like 100% of a network. Like for example, I didn't take the SkyTrain into Surrey or Coquitlam, but I did ride pretty much 75% of the network. It's really interesting. Of course, bringing faster commute times, and it's also sparking urban development, right? So, for example, when we were going through Burnaby in the Brentwood area in the Millennium Line, you notice there's a lot of huge development there. Same thing when you ride the Expo line through the Metrotown area, and then I know there's a lot of huge development taking place in Surrey and Coquitlam, respectively. And so we have a western extension of the Millennium Line known as the Broadway Subway. It'll be an underground extension adding 6 stations. Construction began in 2021 and it'll open next year. And it'll, of course, relieve construction on the 99B line bus, which is the busiest bus route in North America. And then, of course, we have the southeastern extension of the Expo line into Surrey and Langley, adding 8 stations. Construction began in 2024 and it's likely to be completed in 2029. As you can see on the map here, the photo is cut off, but it does show most of the extension. Uh, what really grinds everybody's gears in Vancouver is the fact that the BC government promised a SkyTrain to University of British Columbia (UBC), and shovels still haven't dug into the ground to extend the Millennium Line there. It's still being studied, but it's taken this long for that to be built. I just heard, funnily enough, yesterday, they were having like a fake birthday party to celebrate 18 years of when the UBC SkyTree was first promised. It is still not built. I hope one day that gets built as soon as possible. But the fact that the Broadway subway goes as far as Arbutus Station is beyond me. Like, it's good. It would have obviously it would have been a huge game changer for Vancouver, and the fact that UBC itself isn't even far from where the Millennium Line would terminate at Arbutus. But for now, you got a truncated version of the 99B line, which will still carry way more passengers. But hopefully the Broadway subway will fix everyone's problems. I'm not sure why I said it like that, but it looks really cool though. Hopefully we'll go to Vancouver next year, check that out. Like I said, the Surrey Langley extension will open in 2029. It's going to transform rural areas, of course. So it's, again, all of this stuff is very interesting. I've been watching many videos of both projects. Very cool. All right, moving on to Edmonton, Alberta, where they have a light rail system operated by Edmonton Transit Service. It opened in 1978. The picture you're looking at is actually one of their oldest trains, I think built by Siemens, like a German European style train. Anyway, it has 3 lines, 29 stations. Its most recent expansion was the Valley Line, which opened in 2023, as well as a new placement on some of the existing stations on the Metro Line. Full disclosure, I've never been to Edmonton before, but it's on my list of places to visit, hopefully later this year. And they have a very expansive future. You got the Capital Line South Extension to Heritage Valley North, which would add 4.5 kilometers of track. Construction began in 2025. It is to be completed in 5 years. The Capital Line Northeast Extension is still being proposed. Same thing goes with the Metro Line extensions to St. Albert and Northwest Edmonton, still under design phase. But the Valley Line West extension to Lewis Farms is under construction, and it'll add 16 stations to Western Edmonton, and of course, one of the world's largest malls, West Edmonton. Construction began in 2021 and will open in 2028. And of course, most of the expansions are to bring rapid transit to the mostly car-centric neighborhoods of suburban Edmonton. Now, like I said, I've never been to Edmonton before. Obviously, we'll check out their network when it open. If I do ever get out there this year, it all looks very interesting. Fun fact, though, the Valley Line uses the same exact vehicles as on the Eglinton LRT here in Toronto. The Flexity Freedom vehicles. Saw a picture of that at the beginning of the slide. Sorry, the beginning of the presentation. Except they use way longer trains, so for capacities, it's pretty interesting though. And finally, Calgary, Alberta, south of Edmonton. A little bit similar to the Edmonton LRT, but it's operated by Calgary Transit. It's branded as the C Train. It opened in 1981. However, it's a lot larger. It has 45 stations with 10 under construction, and it is the second busiest LRT system in North America. And also, Calgary is on my list. Nothing really going on except the Green Line, which will add 10 stations between downtown and southeast Calgary. Phase 1 is under construction. The north and southern extensions are being studied. And this was a very controversial project. It went through a lot of political turmoil for years, and it received a lot of opposition in the early 2020s. I think it was in 2024 when they actually decided to cancel the plans despite spending billions in just planning and studying the project. But thankfully, it's being revived and construction started last year, and it will open in the early 2030s. So uh, yeah, yeah, it's interesting. You can compare Edmonton and Calgary's light rail systems. You know, right? Edmonton has three, Calgary has two, but Calgary's light rail just attracts a lot more ridership than the Edmonton light rail. Like, I don't have to see it for myself if I do get out there. But overall, bright future for both cities in Alberta. And that's all. So, guys, let me know your thoughts on this presentation. Brings me back to my high school days. um, like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I hope to do more videos like this pretty soon. Again, I've had a huge interest in transit and urban planning, and we've already we've already kind of got a good start on it with the transit fantasy maps for Toronto. So I do plan on making a video on the Alto high speed rail eventually. I'm not sure when that'll be, but hoping to expand my knowledge of that stuff. And yes, I am going to be making videos dedicated to current transit projects in Toronto, the GTA. That includes the uh, the Hazel McCallion LRT. I've kind of done a video like that already, but still, it has yet to be uploaded. I've got the Scarborough Subway extension, a Line 4 Eastern extension. Still decades in the making. Still hasn't started construction yet, but we can only hope. The Ontario Line and the Yonge North Subway extension are some great ideas. But until then, let's go back to the first slide here. Uh, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this. I'll hopefully try to do more of these this year, and we'll add them to our Discussing Transit series. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, and peace out.